Hi, I'm Kayla and this is my Ultimate Office presentation. The mission for this project was to design an Ultimate Office space that's decent in size and has a minimum capacity of 5 people. It must also include a bathroom and a community space. My vision for this project was that I wanted this office to create a feeling and sense of togetherness and transparency. Those visiting the office should feel like they are part of the company. I want this space to be where all people can focus with little distraction and for them to feel comfortable to work. This office will be designed in a way that keeps the different rooms exposed to one another. It should feel airy, open, and connected. Each room will be partially enclosed because this allows the people inside the room to feel less constricted. My theme is simply designed together. My pattern consists of my logo. It is made by taking the K and E, my initials, and stacking them on top of each other. I chose to use this as my pattern to go in my office because it's made up of angles and lines. The pattern creates very defined lines and angles, which is an important quality for a contemporary style. My design style is contemporary. Important characteristics include less is more, smooth profiles, subtle patterns, minimal accessories. There is also a strong emphasis on lines, planes, and angles. It has a feeling of open, airiness, and it is expansive. The color palette includes neutrals, so cream, white, tan, beige, and black, as well as monochromatic tone-on-tone colors. A neutral color palette allows shapes and lines of furniture to take center stage. Materials often used are chrome, steel, glass, concrete, and wood. The furniture is minimal and there are exposed beams and geometric shapes. In my office space, I will be using a neutral color scheme with blue as an accent color, glass panel walls with black matte beams, square chairs with exposed beams, wood flooring and desks, and a large open floor plan with elevated ceilings to add that open, expansive, airy feeling. These personas were based off of who would use and interact in the office most, which is the designer and clients. I'm the designer, and my biography reads as that I am a designer and owns a company in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I work with a team of designers that set out to design and bring other companies and ideas to life. Tina is the client, and she owns a small business in downtown, and she is in need of a logo update. She heard of my design company on social media and the word around town. She has a meeting set up to figure out a plan for her new logo. My arousal is lower than Tina's because I am in the space more than she is. My pleasure is higher because I'm comfortable and familiar with the space. I have a higher dominance because I work here. The form of this office is a rectangle and the size of this office is functional. The space is defined by having a split-level lofted work area. The changes in floor material define the space, and the sectioning off of furniture define the space as well. Spatial textures that are used are wood, ceramic, glass, and chrome. The space is encapsulated because it has a floor, ceiling, walls, and no permanent openings. Within it, it is partially enclosed. There are walls and doors defining the different rooms, but not all have a ceiling. The rooms within this space are placed on importance. The main floor has the spaces that both the designer and the client use, and then the second floor has just the designers. Clients will hear of my company from either seeing an ad online or social media or someone that we've previously worked with. After initially hearing about the company, they will set up a time to meet. Once they arrive at the office and walk through the door, they are greeted by the person they're meeting with. Once inside, the designer will direct the client to the waiting area. They will be told to wait there while the employee gathers their things for the meeting. While the client is waiting, they will be able to look at everything that's going on in the office. They get an inside look at what's happening. They will spend about 5 minutes here. After waiting, the designer will come and get them from the waiting area. They will then bring the designer into the meeting room. After arriving in the meeting room, the designer and client will sit next to each other at one end of the conference table. After the meeting begins, the designer and client work closely together to create a plan for the project. A side trip for either the client or designer is the bathroom. These are located by the conference room and near the front entrance. Once their meeting is finished, the designer will escort the client back to the front door. Once the initial meeting in person is done and there is a plan set up, the client will leave, but the designer and client will still be in contact either by email or phone calls. The main paths in the office go to the designer's work area and the meeting room. The secondary paths are the community rooms and bathrooms. The node is probably at the outside of the meeting room by the stairs that go to the designer work area. It is one point that people pass to get to every space in the office. The function of this office is a space to design professionally, both individually and in a team collaboratively. The designers use lofted work area, conference room, and group space to work and relax. The office is a domain, not a center, because it's not a main meeting area for people. The flow for the designers and client are similar, with the exception the client is not likely to go to the designer's workspace or meeting room alone unless told or brought there by the designer. The main path goes to the designer's workspace and conference room. The secondary paths are the community rooms and the bathroom. The node is at the outside of the meeting room by the stairs because it is the one point that people pass to get to every space in the office. The fish tank is the landmark because it's easily identifiable from anywhere in the office, and it's seen when you first enter the office. I chose to have the office layout with the areas and rooms the clients are going to be in on the main floor. I did this because they are the main focus. The designer's space is on the second floor because they aren't the main focus when it comes to the client and designer relationship. Any shared space of the designer and client are also placed on the main floor because the client and designer relationship is important. The song for this space is All of Our Yesterdays by Mac DeMarco. Thank you.